Hey, HannahMouse1 here. Welcome to the first episode in a brand new devlog series. So first, some backstory. I finished up my A-levels this year and I was going to do a video game development HND for the next 2 years, but unfortunately the course was cancelled last minute due to a lack of applicants, which kind of left me in the lurch. But after discussing things with my parents, they've agreed that I can spend the next year as a full-time video game developer before I need to get an actual job, in which time I'll hopefully develop plenty of new skills and create a portfolio piece that will make me a bit more hireable. And I'll be documenting my progress here on YouTube. This project will not be replacing a farmer's life. A farmer's life is and will continue to be a hobby project for my evenings and weekends, and will never be a commercial product. It's a scratch project, for God's sake. This new project, which I'm aiming to spend between 3 and 7 hours a day on for every weekday, will be made in C and SDL2 in a custom game engine, and will hopefully be something I can sell down the line. But what is this game? Honestly, I'm not 100% sure yet. It's loosely based off a game that I started in Scratch 3 or 4 years ago now, which I was loosely calling The Dragons RPG. A game where you explore the world and collect dragon eggs, which you take back to your ranch to raise. I honestly don't remember much about the game or its story, other than a few character names, and I'm probably going to scrap the few mechanics that I actually remember, so honestly the Scratch game is more of a vague inspiration than a foundation that I'm working off. I feel like there's an expectation to say that this game will be like X other games, like it's a Stardew Valley style game, it's a Pokemon style game, it's this, it's that, but I think that's a restrictive and unfair way of describing games. I don't want to play another Stardew Valley when I have the actual Stardew Valley just sitting in my Steam library waiting to be played. I don't want to know what you're doing that's been done, I want to know what you're doing that's new. One of my favourite quotes attributed to Gary Parker is, if you have one person that you're influenced by, they'll call you the next whoever. But if you rip off 100 people, they'll say you're so original. So there isn't one game that I can point to and say that's the game this will be like. I'm taking bits and pieces from Stardew Valley, Terraria, Pokemon, the Ni no Kuni games and many others, and hopefully they'll come together to make something innovative and fun. But for right now, I'm just trying to get something basic that's playable. I have very little experience in making games without an engine like Unity or Game Maker, so I'm really not going to go in depth on anything related to the code. Like, my previous experience extended to completing the tutorial series by Let's Make Games, which is absolutely fantastic and I highly recommend it. It's linked down below. I also used that series as a jumping off point for this game, but when I wanted to add in more features beyond the scope of that series, I turned to ChatGPT for more specific help that better fit the requirements of my game, which of course brings up the topic of using generative AI for video game development. Personally, I think it's fine as long as you're putting enough of yourself into the game. Take what the AI gives you and build off of it, make it your own. I always read through all of the explanations and guidance that the AI gives and try to type out the code myself instead of copy pasting, because it forces me to engage and learn. And I'm already at a point now where I can attempt to implement a new mechanical system myself before using ChatGPT to refine or bug fix it. I think AI is something that we need to embrace and accept as a fantastic tool for teaching and for allowing people to realise their ideas, and let's be completely honest, it's here now. Denying it or boycotting it will only cause you to be left behind by those who accept it as another tool in the belt. So these first few weeks was mostly alternating between stumbling haphazardly through the world of coding and artwork. So let's talk about the art. I'm using Fire Alpaca, which is my free drawing software of choice, and using a hand-drawn style. I drew the main character in a modular way so that the body is one image and the clothes are another, and this will allow me to easily switch assets in and out for character customization down the line. I don't have a drawing tablet, so I would draw all of this in my mouse, and there's a lot of imperfections and perspective issues that I can iron out down the line, but my intent was really just to get something that I could work with onto the screen. As for what features I got done this month, it was really just the basic movement and combat. The player can run around and kill enemies and be killed by enemies, which for now just closes the game. I added in a health bar, but I'll probably switch that out for hearts down the line, something more akin to Terraria or Minecraft. There are a couple reasons to do this. First, it would give me an ability to create a clear sense of the character getting stronger by allowing them to add more hearts to the total, and while you could do this by increasing the size of the value of the health bar, like how eating a star drop in Stardew Valley increases the size and value of the stamina bar, I think that the player gets a better sense of improvement if there are physically more hearts on the screen. And as someone on my Discord put it when I asked for thoughts over there, it also gives the player a clearer idea of whether or not they are strong or healthy enough to take on a certain area or challenge. Quote, like, it's good to have a more accurate amount of health points so I know what I can and cannot survive in certain areas. Like Minecraft, I won't go into the end or the nether with 2 hearts and no food, healable items in this case. With a health bar, it makes me feel like I could tackle these, making me a bit more reckless. So I'll probably play around with that at some point, but again, this first month was just about getting things onto the screen so I could set up the mechanics rather than having fully polished or final artwork. I also made an inventory system, which is always a bit complex. You need to be able to drag the items from one slot to another and stack them and so on. It's a system that's going to definitely need some refactoring as I really figure out the flow of the user experience. It's also required me to make a system to display text, which I tried to make super modular, with an ability to set the font size, the text box size, and to make sure the lines are never cut off mid-word. Another element of the inventory system is the ability to equip a weapon, which changes the player's attack animation. And I also made breakable objects, in this case mushrooms that spawn in random little clusters and can be broken to pick up the mushroom item and then eaten for a bit of health regen. Next month I'm going to work on creating a little tutorial zone where you can learn these basic mechanics of the game. But apart from that, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did. It lets me know that there's something you want to see more of. There's a link to the Discord in the description if that's something you're interested in, and I'll see you next week with another video. Bye!